If you're new to chart reading, I just want to go over some chart basics. And I want to show you the full chart. This is my big chart. And then I have for you all a little practice swatch. So it is 37 stitches and 54 rows versus 55 stitches and 94 rows. And you don't even have to knit the whole thing, but if you want to, if you're new to chart reading, if you're new to lace, this will give you a really good sense of how all the stitches work. But I just want to show you a couple things in chart reading basics. Whether or not you're working with the big chart or little chart, it's all the same. So very basic, every line is a row and every box is a stitch. Now, since we can't turn our chart around and see through it the way we turn our work around, right side rows are read left to right. But since then, when we get to the end of the row, we would turn our work around and work that way. Since we can't turn our chart around, wrong side rows are read the other way. Now, really important, whether or not you use a magnet or whether or not you use Post-its or these cool little highlighter tape, your chart marker should go above the row you're working, not below. Now here it's see-through, but you still want to get in the habit, this good habit, in case you're using something solid. So in this case, this chart marker is not marking out that I'm on row 9. It's not the row above. It's marking out that I'm on row 3. The reason this is important is you want to see how the lace is stacking up. So if all of a sudden you notice that, hey, those stitches aren't going straight up or down, or those yarn overs aren't staggering the way they're supposed to, you know something's gone awry. So all these little symbols look exactly like the knitting. The chart is a visible representation of the public side of your work. So this little SK2P that slants to the left, that's 3 stitches going into one, slanting to the left, exactly like its chart symbol. That is different. I had a knitter swear that these two were the exact same stitch, that they looked exactly the same. And why did I use 2 different stitches? How silly of me. But of course they don't look the same. What gives this lace this look is that you have the straight up and downs, and then you have these diagonal lines. That's what gives it that almost like undulating woven look. If all of these were central double decrease, there would be a line going straight up and down. You wouldn't have these diagonals. So they actually look quite different. So here are the central double decreases. Those are 3 stitches going into one, and that goes straight up and down. And sure enough, its chart symbol, look at that, 3 stitches going into one, going straight up and down. The hole is fairly obvious, that's your yarn over. And then we have our single right slanting decrease, knit 2 together, and our single left slanting decrease. We also have these symbols over here, which you might not have seen before. And those are a knit through the back loop, that's a twisted stitch. And you have your slip stitch, and that's what makes the little fold in the gusset. And then you have a make one left, a left lifted increase and a right lifted increase. So I'm going to work through the mini swatch, and this will give you a sense of both chart reading, and we're going to look at a extra stretchy cast on for this area, and we'll be able to work every single stitch. So I'm going to work my way through that swatch, and we're also going to use it to look at correcting mistakes in lace. But you'll notice this is a picture of your knitting. You have all of the definitions of your symbols over here in your key. So chart reading is not that scary. In fact, it's much easier than reading words because you're just knitting exactly what's in each box. Easy peasy.